Hello everybody, Ecology here, and welcome to the 9.15 test server with the last three HD vehicles that are in this patch. You got the WZ-131, the Type 1 Chi-He, then you got the Type 3 Chi-Nu-Kai. So interesting, like they're the exact same tank, but one's just a tad bit longer. Maybe. I'm mesmerized. Alright, so enjoy. Here we are with the WZ-131. At first, I'm like, this just looks like a Type 62. I think that's what the premium thing is. So, nothing really special here in my opinion. Well, let's go over the tracks. Or, not the tracks, the suspension. Pretty nice suspension. Pretty simple. Chrissy suspension. Up, down. Up, down. Slow motion. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. I love watching the track jiggle. Like I said, I can watch tank suspension all day because it'll just mesmerize me. It'll put me in like a trance. Be like, how is that even possible? How did the designer think of that? You know? It's all magic. Not really magic, but it feels like magic. Oh, it feels like magic. So we have a nice idler wheel in the front. I like that it has this little edge detail. I like that. I like that a lot. The road wheels are pretty nice. It is see-through. All these little holes are see-through, and it looks cool because I like the wavy pattern. Like it's woo woo woo. The drive sprocket is nice as well. As you can see, it mashes nicely with the holes in the track, which is good. Got a side exhaust, typical on Russian/Chinese vehicles. A spare fuel can. The tow rope, or tow cable. Spare boxes. Spare boxes. That's basically it. There's not really many tools. You got some spare track right there. That's basically it. For the side, as we gander at the front of this vehicle, turn this 100mm gun around. Can we see rifling? Bingo, bongo, yes you can. Awesome. Lift your gun up. There we go. Oh, the coax machine gun doesn't raise and lower with the gun. That's upsetting. I hate people that that don't model that in, because most of the time, I don't know if that's true, but that should raise and lower with the gun. I don't know if it's independent. Sometimes they are, and I have to retract what I say, but that's a pretty looking track. I like the V-shaped track link. Got some tow hooks, or hooks, with the cable that you saw on the side stretch all the way there. Got two headlights with the wooden or metal bar going across. Got the driver's viewport, driver's hatch, a vision port to look out of. On top you got a vision port, commander's hatch, or loader's hatch or something like that. And you got a gunner's hatch or something like that with a machine gun, another viewport, and the fume extractor, which is handy dandy to extract your fumes. Yeah. You got some jerry cans on this side. You got 3 jerry cans. You got a small little storage box. Other than that, it's pretty much plain. Nothing really to see. Let's look at your booty. Like I said, the track mashes nicely with the drive sprocket, which is nice. Some more tow hooks. More jerry cans. The back of the turret, not really that much detail. You got some metal jutting up here and there, but that's not really much. The engine deck has these ventilation to cool down the grill, the radiator, and the engine, with these 2 hatches to view the engine when you need a maintenance it. Like I said, there's not really much detail on this one, but it is nice that they're H-eating tanks, and this is a small little scout tank. And a lot of people say this one's pretty good, so a lot of people would be happy with this thing HD'd. So, that being said, on to the next tank. Here we are with the Type 1 Chi-He, a Tier 4 Japanese tank that has been HD'd. One of the last medium tanks that is below Tier 5 to be HD'd. And also, I think all the light tanks are also HD'd as well. So that's pretty good. The only thing that needs to be HD'd that's lower than the Tier 5 is the Tier 1, which is upsetting. But let's go over the suspension and be very disappointed like I always am with these Japanese vehicles. Very disappointed, yes. Like, I didn't expect this to have fantastic suspension because they never model in fantastic suspension. Because this is wrong. Like I say in every one of these videos, it is wrong. It's a 3-part suspension. This metal piece from this wheel to this wheel is one piece. So, this wheel goes up, this wheel goes down. This wheel goes down, this wheel goes up. No ands, ifs, or buts. Nope, in this game it doesn't do that. The bar behind this, the bar right here, is supposed to go up and down to help with the suspension. And then that motion gets transferred into this piston that goes in and out, in and out. So it's like a 3-part process that Wargaming doesn't implement. Which I don't know why they can't do that. Like, come on, put good suspension on my Japanese vehicles. Like, watching a Japanese vehicle on a YouTube video, like looking at their suspension going over terrain, it is beautiful. But in World of Tanks, it's just like, who cares? And that's one thing I don't like. It's like they don't care about how it's supposed to work. As you can see, a very big drive sprocket, which looks pretty nice, and all the track mashes nicely with the drive sprocket, which is nice. Because like I said, this arm's supposed to go up and down. That arm is connected to this piece, which makes the spring go in and out. It's supposed to be integrated, I don't know how to say that word down. Intergit for a reason. It's to help go over rough terrain. The road wheels are quite nice. They are rubber with metal, which is nice. I'm just so disappointed though, because I want to see good suspension, but I guess that technology's not here yet. I hope they fix it in the future, because if they not, I'll be disappointed. The rear either wheel looks quite nice. You got the pistons that would work if they could. They're nice springs, beautiful springs. I like the return rollers. I think they're nice. Side detail is pretty bland. You got a viewport right here for the the gunner to look out. On this, you got the Japanese jack to lift up the tank. You got a tanker bar. I don't know what tool that is. It might be a shovel or something. Yeah, it's a shovel. And that's the pickaxe. Okay, never mind. Just being dumb. And then you got the exhaust cover-ish. Then on the side of the turret, you got a hatch to empty out shells. You got another viewport, a couple of rivets here and there. A very big commander's hatch. Like, that is pretty big. And then you got the Type 97 machine gun, I think that is, which is one of my favorite machine guns on the tanks, because that's the main tank machine gun they used. So looking at the front, you can see the beautiful track. I love Japanese track. I think that looks beautiful. You got a hook right here. Got 2 hatches to view the frontal transmission, because it's frontal drive. You got, if something goes wrong, you have to open that up to repair it. You got the front machine gun, the same machine gun that's up here, but it has a protective covering over it. You got the driver's port with the driver's hatch, so you can get in and out. The gun is rifled, as you can see. It is rifled, which is nice. Now the front of the turret is kind of bland. Like, I can't even see any viewports for the gunner to look out. So I don't know how he sees. Maybe he has to go bore sighted. look down the barrel before he fires or puts the shell in. Aim that way, which is a pretty bad way to aim. Most standards. So this side is basically the same as the other side. You get a better look at the Type 97 machine gun. I think that's what it is. I like the design they put on it, like top fed magazine, the buttstock, the grip. It just looks pretty. I like machine guns. And basically it's plain. You got a storage box right here, and that's basically it. To the rear. As you see, you got 2 more lift rings down here. Don't know what that is. Not at all. Got 2 bars right here that would basically, you would wrap around a cable around that figure 8 fashion to hold the cable. Twin exhaust, typical on a Japanese vehicle. A very big escape hatch in the rear. And you can see more of that very big commander's hatch, which is pretty huge actually. Then the engine deck detail, you can see that there are some handles. Got the grill work to cool down the engine and the radiators. Got another hatch down here. That's basically it. Handles all around to get access to the vehicle. All in all, I think this patch brought a lot of bland HD tanks. Like, there's really not much detail work on these HD tanks in my opinion. Especially like some like the Cunningham, the T-26. The new tier 10 tanks. It's just, I don't know, maybe that's more prototypical to those tanks. I don't know. But yeah. Like I say, my favorite feature about this is the machine gun. I like that it has the machine gun modeled on the roof. The only thing I don't like is the suspension. Like I say, I wish Wargaming redid the suspension on this vehicle. With that being said, onwards to the next vehicle. Here we are with the Type 3 Chinook. Hi, this is basically the same tank we just looked at. Well, hull-wise, it looks like. But with a bigger turret. And a bigger gun. Awesome. And it's also a tier 5. Like I say, the suspension is crap. Wargaming does not know how to model its suspension. I feel like this tank was modeled by the same person that made the Type, the Chi-He. Because it looks very identical. The hull-wise looks very identical. Like, the same amount of detail looks like. Quite upsetting. Actually. But from here you can see that the drive sprocket is quite nice. Matches with the track. Road wheels are pretty much the same as the other one that we just looked at. Really not much detail. The same detail. Jack, tank bar, shovel, pickaxe. It's quite upsetting. I was expecting something different. Like, the only thing that's really different is this has a cast-in turret. It's all cast, it's all welded, it's all much more stronger. It has a button. Boop. Ha. The other thing is it does not have a machine gun on top, which is upsetting. This thing used to have a machine gun, but for some reason they took the machine gun off. Now, the only thing that is different about this one versus the one that we just saw is I think these headlights are new. I think. The tracks are also nicely done. I think they're a little bit bigger. Still has the hatches. But it's pretty much the same as the other tank. And you do see rifling. I like rifling. You do got a vision slit for the gunner to see out, so you can aim targets. The big commander's hatch, with a hatch right here for the machine gunner would come out and use that. The commander, I don't know what that is. Maybe it'll pop open to extract the fumes. I don't know. An early fume extractor. I think that would be a pistol port right here. I think. Other than that, it's pretty much the same as the other tank that we looked at. Storage box. Which is quite upsetting. In the back, you got the same amount of detail. A brake light. Place to whirl up your cable. To exhaust. The engine deck is pretty much the same as the other one. I'm just disappointed with this HD model patch. Like, some of the tanks have crappy suspension. Some of the tanks have really not that much good detail. Some of the tanks are fantastic, I have to say that, but I'm just disappointed that there's not many detail. Like, I would expect for like the Japanese tanks to have at least something. I don't know. Well, back to the garage. There's nothing else to show you on the Japanese thing, so back to the garage. And we're back in the garage with these tanks. Like I said, I'm disappointed with these two. So upsetting. But let's look at the paint job, shall we? 'Cause, oh no, multiple paints. Alright, so you got the paint missing from the tip of the barrel. Lower plate is all scratched up. The fenders are scratched. This one's a little dented, I think. Yeah, it's a little dented. Weathering around the driver's port. Little weathering here and there. Weathering around the turret here, around there. Engine deck has a little bit of weathering around there. The exhaust has its paint removed from the exhaust, of course, because it's hot and dirty in exhaust. Scratches around the fuel tanks all the way down. It's very scratched up external fuel tanks. The engine deck, very weathered. There's a big weather mark around the weld. I think that's a weld, or the cast-in detail. Pretty nice, actually. It's better weathered than that Bishop we looked at last video. But here's the two Japanese vehicles. I like Japanese vehicles, but in World of Tanks, they kind of disappoint me. In their HD models, that is. So you got weathering around the two front hatches, which is to be expected. There is no entrance for the driver or that. They either have to go out the turret or out the bottom, which isn't that safe. The fenders are weathered. Scratches down the side, scratches on the turret. The gun has weathering on it as well. A lot of weathering around the hatches, the corners. Engine deck has weathering around it. A lot of it. Ooh, that's a lot of scratches down here. Weathering marks, scratches. It's not bad. Not bad. I wonder if this one's going to have the same marks. I bet it will. Yep, exactly the same. Maybe a little bit different, but it's more the same. The only thing different is it has a bigger gun. Around there. Around there. The turret has a lot of weathering on it as well. I like the Japanese vehicles because I love their tracks. I love the way they look. I love their design. The only thing I don't like about the Japanese vehicles in World of Tanks is that they don't model the suspension correctly. If they modeled the suspension correctly, I wouldn't have a problem playing Japanese vehicles more often. But I love watching the suspension, and it kind of disappoints me when the suspension doesn't work how it's supposed to. But I'm not wargaming. Hopefully they fix it in the future, but I doubt it. Maybe, but I doubt it. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. This is it for the 9.15 test server video. If there is any new content coming in the future, I will review it. Maybe, I don't know. Depends how good it is. Like, if the Waffen trigger is getting replaced, I'll put an update video if it's not, you know. So, yeah. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. Remember to click the like button, and I'll see you in the next World of Tanks, World of Warships, War Thunder, Armored Warfare, World of Warplanes video that I make next. I don't know what I'm going to have. So see you guys. Bye-bye.